In March 1965, Tom Jones arrived in Las Vegas for the first time in his life. He was 24 years old. He had one song on the American charts, "It's Not Unusual," which had reached number 10. He had been booked to open for a comedian named Jack Carter at the Flamingo Hotel. He had never performed in an American casino showroom. He had never performed in front of an American audience that had not come specifically to see him. He had never performed in the specific atmosphere of Las Vegas, the half-drunk, half-distracted, completely sophisticated audience that filled those rooms, and that was famously difficult to impress. He was terrified. Not the ordinary terror of performance, the specific terror of a man who has been told, for the first time in his career, that he might not be enough. Tom Jones grew up in Pontypridd, South Wales. His father was a coal miner. He had been singing since he was a child, in working men's clubs, in pubs, at weddings, anywhere that would have him. He was not the product of a conservatory or a talent program or a carefully managed pop career. He was a man with a voice that arrived like a physical event, the kind of voice that caused people to stop what they were doing and turn toward it involuntarily. He knew this about himself. It was the one thing he was certain of. What he was not certain of, standing in a dressing room at the Flamingo Hotel in March 1965, was whether that voice was enough for Las Vegas. Joe Esposito was Elvis's road manager. He had been working with Elvis since the early 1960s. He was in Las Vegas that week because Elvis was not performing. He was at Graceland. But Esposito was managing several logistical matters related to future bookings. He had heard about the young Welsh singer who was opening for Jack Carter. He had been told the name. He had listened to "It's Not Unusual" on the radio. On the afternoon of Tom Jones's first show, Esposito walked past the Flamingo's backstage area and heard something. Someone warming up. He stopped. He stood in the corridor. He listened for several minutes. Then he knocked on the dressing room door. Tom Jones opened it. He was wearing his stage shirt. His hair was done. His eyes were the specific dark that eyes get when adrenaline has been running for several hours. Esposito introduced himself. Tom Jones did not know who Joe Esposito was. He knew who Elvis was. The name Joe Esposito meant nothing to him. Esposito explained. Something changed in Tom Jones's expression when he understood that the man standing at his door worked for Elvis. Relaxed slightly, and then tensed again. "He asked me what was wrong," Tom Jones said in his 2015 autobiography, "Over the Top and Back." "I told him I wasn't sure Las Vegas was going to work, that I wasn't sure they were going to get me." Esposito listened to this. Then he said he needed to make a phone call. He asked Tom to give him 5 minutes. He went to a payphone in the corridor. He called Graceland. In his autobiography, Tom Jones described what happened next with the specific, careful quality of a man who has told a story many times and still can't quite make it seem ordinary. Esposito came back to the dressing room. "He wants to talk to you," Esposito said. Tom Jones looked at the phone Esposito was holding out. He took it. "I said hello," Tom Jones wrote in the autobiography. "And Elvis said, 'I hear you're worried about Vegas.' Tom said yes. He said, 'Don't be.' He said, 'They're going to love you.' He said, 'I've heard your voice. Vegas needs that voice. Tom asked him how he knew. Because Vegas is the one place in the world, Elvis said, where the real thing always wins. And you're the real thing, Tom. The call lasted 7 minutes. Tom Jones had never spoken to Elvis before. He would not speak to him again for several years. He walked onto the stage at the Flamingo Hotel that night. He described his state of mind in those 7 minutes between the dressing room and the stage entrance. "I wasn't calm," he said. "I was never calm before shows. But the terror was gone." The show at the Flamingo was the beginning of what became one of the most sustained Las Vegas careers in entertainment history. Tom Jones would return to Las Vegas hundreds of times across 6 decades. He would sell out rooms at the Flamingo, the Caesars, the MGM Grand. He would become, alongside Elvis himself, one of the defining performers of the Las Vegas showroom era. He and Elvis became genuine friends. Their Las Vegas residencies overlapped many times in the late 1960s and 1970s. They watched each other perform. They visited each other backstage. In the autobiography, Tom Jones wrote about what Elvis had meant to him as a performer and as a friend. He wrote about the voice, the movement, the specific quality of Elvis's stage presence that had influenced him before they ever met. And he wrote, in a single paragraph that has received far less attention than it deserves, about the phone call in March 1965. "I've been asked many times what the turning point of my career was," Tom Jones wrote. "People expect me to name a song, or a show, or an award. But the truth is simpler than that. It was a payphone in a corridor at the Flamingo Hotel, and a voice on the other end saying, 'Vegas needs that voice.' You're the real thing, Tom." He wrote one more sentence after that. "I've been trying to prove him right ever since."